peril. As it is written, for your sake we are being killed all day long. We are accounted as sheep to be slaughtered. No. In all these things we are more than conquerors through him who loved us. For I am convinced that neither death nor life, nor angels, nor rulers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor powers, or height, or depth, nor anything else in all of creation will be able to separate us from the love of God in Christ Jesus our Lord. Some of the pictures that we've had on the slides already have been from the parsonage where Sheila spent the last almost 4 years. This particular image was one of her favorites. She loved counting the turkeys. And she was very disappointed this past winter when they did not come back, because we didn't have winter until February. And by then the turkeys had already made other arrangements. But we have 2 remembrances from Sheila's children. The first is from Belinda, her favorite daughter.
Only daughter.
When I'm not going there. When I was a small child, Belinda writes, I called Mother Mommy. Later, as an older child, I called her Mom. The summer after the conclusion of my 6th grade, my brother and I spent summer in England with her extended family. When we returned and saw her waiting for us at the airport in San Antonio, we called her Mummy. In middle school, I shortened Mother to the first 2 letters, or Mo. All through high school, college, and into my adult life, all my friends and me, we all called her Mo. She welcomed all of us into her circle of love and comfort. Just the last couple of years, I began calling her Mama. And I would add, she also called her Mamacita, Momer. There were a couple of others that will come to us, I'm sure. That term of endearment seemed appropriate as our living together drew us closer, deeper, to a real relationship. In addition to the names associated with her being my mother throughout all my life, I considered these names for her as well. Teacher, encourager, advocate, champion, inspirer, sometimes nagger or motivational speaker. Always a motivator, innovator, supporter, cheerleader, lover of family and friends, even during the difficult times. Her favorite sayings: be a place safe. Look both ways before you cross the street, and look again before you actually cross the street. Advice I wish she had given me when we went on our honeymoon. I almost got hit by a double-decker bus. No wonder I became a safety manager in the Army because of her influence. As long as you do your best, I'm so proud of you. Leftovers are the best. And I can add an aside, that would have been true had there actually been cooking going on. Always allow a person to save face. That is, don't embarrass people. Give them the opportunity to do the right thing. Do your best. Leave the rest Angels do no more. Don't trouble trouble till trouble troubles you. And my favorite, may I speak with the manager? Politely asking if she felt the business had not treated her appropriately. And after articulating her views, she always got her way. Anyone can buy retail. Where's the fun in that? Consignment shopping or hunting is the most fun. In closing, my mama was a wonderful mother who taught me, equipped me for life. I am grateful for her sharing her love, courage, and wisdom with me and all her family. She was always wanting to learn something new. She was always looking for ways to contribute. She loved to engage with others, asking about them, celebrating their joys, and sharing their challenging times as well. Her love for learning, her love for life, her love for all of God's creation. She lived her life with great gusto. She inspired those who knew her to become the best versions of themselves. Her presence was a present, and I thank God for the gift of knowing her. Thanks be to God. And from Rob, he would like to express his sincere thanks to our church community for opening their arms and completely welcoming and including his mom in their lives and daily interactions. She would often share what was going on in Stevensville when Rob would talk to her on the phone, and it was obvious that she cared about everyone like they were family. Rob wants you to know that you enriched her life and kept her engaged in the community that she grew to love.
Oh
for Sheila and not make this so sappy or to make a meal of it. So I promise to keep this short and mode-like. When the prophet Isaiah wrote those words, "Have you not known, have you not heard? The Lord is an everlasting God. The Lord is doing something new." When I first met Sheila Mo, she was 68, had another dozen years of work ahead of her. And I thought she was a quaint English lady. She always had that nice, wonderful British accent until she called her sister in England when she became a Yank, or at least according to her sister. But Sheila was about new experiences, new awarenesses. Now, she wasn't one to wear her faith on her sleeve, but it was there. It was real. It was genuine. And that's something new every day. Because if you're approaching life as if it's a new thing, everything that you see, like Finley or Madison, they're seeing the world fresh, as if it's a new thing. Is that the way you see the world? Because every day God is creating something new. Science tells us that the universe is expanding. I always wonder, expanding into what? What is just beyond the universe? We have no idea. There are worlds out there that we cannot conceive of. And yet, that is our God. That's the God in whose presence Sheila lived all these years. Years later, Paul wrote to the church in Rome, to a community that he had not yet been present with. And he told them, this place that he had not been, people he didn't know. He told them, I know what you're going through. I know you. How is that possible? How could he know someone? How could he understand their experiences? Through his own life. He understood that nothing that he had experienced to that point nothing could separate him from God. Now, Paul didn't know, Sheila didn't know what would happen from one day to the next. And yet she and Paul knew that God would be there. When I first met Mo, she was living in this little tiny apartment in San Antonio. I mean, if you watch those home improvement shows, it was kind of like a walk-in closet. It was small. But she filled it not with clutter, not with stuff, but with life. She loved going to the Green Door, a resale shop.
Upscale.
Upscale, sorry. And there was nothing resale about Mo. She loved going and discovering new things that somebody else saw as something old. Later on, when she moved back to San Angelo, she was 80 years old, or young. She decided to retire because that was a good round number. And she moved back and started a new chapter. When most people would stay in their comfortable cocoon, the neighborhood that they always knew, the relationships they'd always had. But she started something new. And she created a life. Almost 4 years ago this summer, when following a health scare, she came to live with Belinda and I. Is it me?
I'm channeling Mother. She's always correcting my voice.
Yes. Just as an aside, I asked Sheila to be one of my thesis reviewers. And like her daughter, all I wanted her to do was get the chapters back and tell me how brilliant it was.